So I say that SEO has grown in popularity over the last few years, and certainly the idea of working from home and starting your own business has been incredibly popular since the pandemic. We've got the likes of website design, we've got SMMAs growing, we've got AI agencies, but we've also got SEO agencies growing as well. So if you're someone that isn't sure about SEO and you want to learn how to get results for yourself, or if you are looking to start your own SEO business and you want to learn how to get SEO results for your customers, this training is going to be really awesome for you. So primarily, I'm a web designer, but being able to introduce a service like SEO has been fundamental to my business because it's now allowing me to create monthly recurring revenue every single month into my business without the stress of having to find that new web design project. Web design and SEO go hand in hand. So if you are a web designer looking to introduce the likes of SEO, again, this is going to be really important for you. But if you are just getting started with SEO as well, you're going to learn a lot from this training. There are a lot of cogs in this machine to allow your website to rank higher on Google. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking through each of those cogs and what you need to be looking at, what you need to be doing with your own website or your client's website if that's what you're looking to rank higher, and how you can actually go about improving the search rankings of a website. So you're going to get a pretty good understanding of SEO, how it works and how you can implement it. And at the end of the video, there is a giveaway as well, so make sure that you stick around for that. All right, so let's go. So how do you start an SEO agency from home, okay, in 2024? And this could be relevant for 2025, maybe even 2026. I'll probably do a new video when that time comes. So what we're going to be covering in this training is what is SEO, okay, some frequently asked questions around SEO, how you can actually go about finding SEO clients if you're looking to start your own business, how you can actually then go about signing up those clients, okay, so because one important point is to be able to find them, identify them, locate them, reach out to them, and then how you go about signing those clients up. Then we've got onboarding. So if you are looking to acquire clients within SEO, you need to know how to onboard them and gather the right information. So that includes getting contracts and getting paid, more importantly. And then we're going to move into the actual mechanics of how SEO works and how you can implement that into your own business. So how do you get SEO results? Understanding those results that you can generate through SEO. Introducing AI for SEO as well, because AI is a hot topic at the moment and everybody's implementing it into their businesses, and AI also has a place within SEO as well. So we're going to see how that fits. And then finally, some of the tools that you might want to consider if you are running an SEO campaign. So first of all, let's start with what is SEO? Okay, now, so I'm going to try to avoid reading slides word for word, but anyway, SEO and how it works. Okay, SEO means search engine optimization first and foremost. Okay, and it is the process used to optimize a website's technical configuration, content relevance, and link popularity so its pages can become easily findable, more relevant and more popular towards user search queries. And as a consequence, search engines rank them higher. Okay, so to break that down, we're going to go into this in a bit more detail, but essentially Google will look at your website and decide whether it is of these three things. So is it of high quality? Does it answer the user's search query? And then we've got EAT as well, which we'll go into in more detail. Okay, EAT is an acronym and I'll share with you what that is shortly. And we're going to go through each of these in more detail. But before we do, let's just talk a little bit about what SEO is. SEO is essentially two parts these days. We've got the Google Map Pack, so having your website appear high on the Google search when people are searching for what it is that you offer, whether it is a service or more so a service in the Map Pack, I would say, but typically a usable search for a service or a product that it is that you're selling. Now, service-based businesses are typically going to appear in the map because it's location-based. And so you've got Google Maps or Google My Business profile. And then over on the right side, we've got organic search results. So these are everything that appears underneath the Map Pack. Okay, so that initial map pack, the organic results will appear underneath, and you'll find that it's 10 results to a page. Okay, so you want to be ranking high for these two things. So you want to be ranking high on the Google Maps pack through your Google My Business. So you need to make sure that you've got Google My Business profile. If you haven't got one of those yet, I recommend that you go and set one up. And if you're doing this for a client, go and set one up for them and just give them access to it. And then we've got the organic search results. You want to be ranking high for that as well. Cool. I don't want you to get confused with what isn't SEO, and essentially what is not SEO is the Google ads. So these are the paid for promotions that appear well above the organic results and the map pack, and these are paid for placements through Google pay-per-click. And then over on the right side in this image, you can see that we've got Google shopping ads as well. This is not SEO, these are paid for placements. So the only way that you can get your website right at the top in those positions is to do and run a Google pay-per-click campaign. So now that we've got that out of the way, okay, I want to just circle back. We're going to talk through these two things. First of all, high quality. Okay, so how do you make sure that your website is of high quality? Okay, first of all, you want to make sure that it loads fast. Okay, page speed is super important with websites these days. Google looks at it from a mobile perspective, so you want to make sure that your mobile page speed is ranking fast and making sure that your website is optimized. Okay, you want to make sure that you've got up-to-date and relevant content. Okay, you want to make sure that it's factual as well, because essentially Google wants to be serving up correct information when a user has a question. So if it considers your website to be relevant and up-to-date, then you're going to have a much better chance of ranking higher. So make sure that it is of high quality, relevant and up to date. Make sure that there is an SSL certificate. Okay, so this is a little padlock that appears in your website right at the top of the URL and the search bar. This just tells us that there is a security certificate on it and it's to be trusted. So if you are a user of Google Chrome as your Chrome browser, then essentially what you'll see is any website that doesn't have an SSL certificate, you'll be flagged to say are you sure you want to visit this site because it's considered insecure. All right, so from a user experience perspective, you don't want that to happen anyway, but Google will penalize your website if it doesn't have an SSL certificate on it. You want to make sure there's no incriminating content. Okay, I think that speaks for itself. Make sure that it's well optimized, okay, on page, and we're going to go into more detail as to what on page looks like later on in this training. You want to make sure that your website's got domain authority. Okay, again, we're going to touch on that later. The domain age is of more than 1 year, preferably. Okay, there are instances where a website can rank well, after 6 months, but anything before that, typically it doesn't perform overly well. Because 6 months is not a long time. If you can implement all of your SEO steps in those first 6 months, if your website is brand new, then once you reach that 6 to 12 mark, a lot of the work's going to be done and you're going to be starting to climb through the rankings. And as I've already mentioned, making sure that your website is mobile friendly. Okay, make sure that it works on a mobile device, loads correctly, loads fast, is easy to use and is readable. Okay, nice and easy. And next we've got answering the user's query. So how do you do that? Okay, well, your content on your website provides an answer to a question being searched. Okay, that's often the case. Okay, if someone is searching for a specific question for something, if you have a blog article, for example, that answers that question, then that article might rank higher. If someone is looking for a service that you offer in a specific location and you are the service provider of that service in the given location that's being searched, as long as your website is optimized for those two things, the keyword, the search query, and the search modifier, the location, then the chances of your site being ranked is going to become a lot higher. So it's really important that you are looking to rank for what people are searching for, and we will go into more of that in a bit when we get into keyword research. You want to make sure that you're using correct keywords. You want to use variations of keywords. Okay, so they're called synonyms. So how do you say the same thing in a different word? Okay, being able to do that, it just adds additional context and avoids keyword repetition, and then making sure that there's a clear hierarchical structure. So making sure that there is a header, there is a body, there is a footer, and there is a heading structure within your content. I like to say similar to a book. I think book's probably the right comparison, where you've got your main book title, you've got chapters within the book, you might have sub-chapters depending on the book. Okay, and the way that you write your content will have a main heading, a subheading, maybe there's a subheading underneath that subheading. The same things for your website content. Make sure that there is hierarchy within your text and your headings, and we will go into a bit more detail later on in this training, as I've already said. All right, now moving on to EAT. Okay, now EAT, the acronym, stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, it's a tricky word, and trustworthiness. Okay, so experience, first, it needs to be first-hand experience. What is your first-hand/unique experience on the topic? What is your point of view? Okay, making sure that that is clear, because that creates unique content and it gives you an opinion and you a voice. Then we've got expertise, so demonstrating that you have the relevant skills around the topic and the relevant experience around that topic that you're talking about. Authority, so are you the go-to source for this type of information? Okay. If you're just getting started, maybe not, but Google's going to be looking to see how much of that information that you have on your site, how good quality is it? How many people are reading it? How many people are visiting it? How many people are sharing it, commenting on it, things like that. So if all of that has taken place, it's going to consider you more of an authority in your space. And then we've got trust. So making sure that your content is factually accurate and correct. Okay, so is it trustworthy? Is it a trustworthy source of information? So you want to make sure that your website is following all of those things, especially your content. And this is what Google is essentially looking at to consider your website to be credible. Okay, the more credible that your website appears in the eyes of Google, the more it's going to rank it for the keywords that the website has been optimized for the search terms that people are searching. Okay, so your website is optimized for a specific keyword. Someone's searching something that matches up to those keywords. Okay, Google's going to serve up your website for the search query. Okay, and they're going to speak to each other, and that's when your website's going to rank high. So why do you want to choose SEO as your marketing strategy? There's loads of marketing strategies available. There's loads of different services that you can do. You can do paid ads. You can do networking. You can do print, flyer runs, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but why SEO? Why do I think SEO is absolutely the most important strategy that any business owner, agency, any web designer, anyone watching this video, why do I think that you should not only potentially offer this as a service, but why should you be using SEO as one of your main source of generating customers, generating visitors to your website? Okay, well, organic traffic is the cheapest. Okay, it's the cheapest form of consistent traffic coming to your website. Okay, and if we look at paid ads for specifically, Facebook ads, we're looking at like $1.86 per click. Okay, or Google ads, it could be anywhere from $2 to $4 per click. Now the SEO average, okay, is 46 cents or 46 pence. Okay, however you want to look at it, depending on whether you're in America or in the UK. Okay, that's really cheap. It's a lot cheaper for a click, and it's a long-term regular stream of eyeballs coming to your site, aka traffic visiting your site. Now what's great here is, I like to say it's similar to going to the gym. Okay, if you put in all the work if you're going to the gym and you put in exercise, you follow a meal plan, okay, you go once or twice, okay, nothing's going to change. But if you go, say, over 6 months, consistently, regularly, okay, you're going to see a change in your health, your physique, your fitness. Same things with SEO. It's long term and it has to be consistent. But once it's there, okay, it just doesn't disappear. Similar to going to the gym. After 6 months, if you stopped going, you wouldn't just lose your results after a week or two. Okay, maybe after 6 months, you'd start falling back to the shape that you were before you started training. And the same thing is for SEO. Okay, if you just stop doing SEO, initially it's not going to negatively impact you, but over time it will negatively impact you. Okay, and I have proof of this with my own business. We hit SEO pretty hard for a long time. Okay, we're pretty comfortable ranking high at the top. Personally, I let it slip for probably around 3 to 4 months, and we've dropped back. It is what it is. It happens, but it's a lesson, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. So, okay, as long as you can stay consistent with it and stick with it, okay, it's going to be a long-term, regular stream of traffic coming through to your site. Also, the buying intent is much higher. Now, depending on what you are ranking for, okay, you can target what I like to call like lucrative keywords, and you can essentially capture people when their buying intent is a lot higher, when they are towards the end of their buying cycle and their buying journey, otherwise known as bottom of funnel. So when they're at the bottom of the funnel, okay, you can have your website rank at that point when they're ready to buy, when their buying intent based on their keywords is much higher. Okay, a bit more competitive to do that, but the opportunity is there. And to have people coming to your site for like less than $0.50 or less than 50 pence per click is amazing. All right, so let's move on to some common questions. So if you are looking to start your own agency, then what do you need to get started? Honestly, you just need a laptop and the desire to learn how to implement SEO either into your own website or into your customer's website. Okay, how much can you make with SEO? This is a subjective question because a lot of people charge different things. But I think typically, you can charge a monthly recurring retainer so you'll be paid, if you're selling SEO, that is, you'll be paid monthly anywhere from £250 up to sometimes £1,000 to £2,000 per month, depending on how big the website is, how much work needs doing, and how big that account is. Okay, so £2,000 is not a ceiling. Okay, it could be much more, but that's just an idea of what is possible with offering SEO as a service within your company. Does SEO still work? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's mad that anyone believes that SEO is dead, doesn't work, and should be ditched. Anyone that's saying this typically are trying to push their own agenda, whether it is trying to push the likes of Google pay-per-click, or they're trying to push other methods like Facebook ads. Okay, SEO still works. You just need to know what you're doing. Many of you might be watching this thinking, I've tried SEO, it doesn't work. I've tried hiring another company before and I've been stung. That's not the case. If you do it properly, it really, really does work. It's been absolutely incredible for my own business, being able to generate organic traffic regularly and generate regular inquiries within the business without us really needing to do anything anymore. Okay, it works on what we pilot, so it does work. So can I start an SEO company in my own country? I think so, yes. I believe so. I'm sure that you can start it anywhere. And honestly, I've spoken to people offering SEO in many different countries. So I like to say yes, I think you can. Is SEO a viable service to offer? As a service offering, if you are a digital marketing company, SEO is absolutely a viable service to offer. Like, there are over 8 billion searches every single day on Google. That tells us that people are still first and foremost going to Google if they are starting their buying cycle, their buying journey. If they're doing research, if they are looking to buy, they're still going to Google. So being able to rank high is super important. Is artificial intelligence, say that again, is artificial intelligence, AI, going to destroy SEO? I don't think so. Okay, now Google are working on their own AI. Okay, now AI, I think, might change how we do SEO. Right, but I think as a service offering, it's still going to be very important and very valuable. So no, I don't think it's going to destroy SEO. And we've got some information on AI later on in this training. So if you're interested in that, then make sure that you stick around. Cool. So next we're going to talk about how to find SEO clients. But if you're enjoying this so far, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button. I'd be super happy with that. Cool. Now, how do you find SEO clients? So if you are looking to start your own SEO company, you're going to want to know how you can start finding clients. Okay, it's one of the things that people struggle with the most. I don't think this is just a industry thing. This is across the board. Every business owner wants more customers. As a SEO agency, at least from my experience, these are ways that you can prospect and find good clients with SEO. Now, you could go to Google yourself, search the type of business that you want to help with their SEO, put in a search query, go to the results, and go to page 2 or even 3 and beyond. Okay, it doesn't have to stop there. Any business that's ranking in that position for, you need to make sure that it's a keyword that people are searching, because otherwise there's no value in it going to them and saying, I could get you to rank higher for this keyword, but actually no one's searching for it. So you need to make sure that it's a keyword that people are searching, and you'll be able to figure out how to do that in the keyword research stage of this training. But go to Google. Google's going to be your best friend in identifying businesses that are not ranking well in SEO and could need help with improving that. Use your existing network. So ask family, friends, other business owners that you know whether they need help with their SEO. In-person networking events. So this is new for me, actually. I wouldn't usually recommend networking events, but actually networking events have been awesome for me over the last 6 months. Not only has it got me out of the house, but it will get you to meet people that need your services. So it really helps you build a network of people that at some point, the better relationship that you build with other business owners, they will start referring you if they don't need them themselves. So there's a huge opportunity there. Freelancer websites. So I'm not a huge fan of these because I think these days it's like a race to the bottom. It's really competitive, but you can utilize freelancer websites. I do know people doing very well on freelancer websites, and I've actually hired contractors myself for my own agency that offer SEO to help us. So if you're looking to become an SEO service provider, freelancer websites could be your friend and you could help other agency owners. We've got social media, so you could post on your Facebook page, for example. You can post on groups, Facebook groups, be active inside a SEO group, be helpful, answer questions. If anybody needs help, put your hand up, reach out to them, and there's loads of opportunity there. You've just got to be on the ball with it. There's a lot of people doing it these days, so you kind of need to scour it, is that a word? Keep your eyes on it and just be ready to jump on any sort of request that comes in. And this doesn't just work for Facebook, it goes for LinkedIn as well. 6, SEO your own website. Okay, now if you're looking to implement SEO or offer it as a service, if you're offering it as a service and you want to acquire clients, SEO your own website. It's the best way. People who want SEO often know that they need SEO and they will go to Google, they will search for an SEO provider in like SEO Company London, for example, and they will find the top 3. Now, if you're in that top 3, you're going to get a much better chance of winning that work. And we've seen it ourselves. It's much easier for us to have someone come in and say that they need our help rather than us reach out to them and say, you need help with SEO. But it is a long game, okay? So it's not going to work initially. So you have to kind of do the manual steps that are above. So steps 1 to 5, and then run 6 in the background over the next 6 to 12 months. And then the sort of dynamic will shift in the sense that your organic SEO on your own website will become probably your main lead gen if you want it to. And the others will become less frequent. So when you are looking to find SEO clients as well, you want to make sure that you're finding the business owner's information. So you want to make sure that you're finding the name, the email address of that person and their phone number. Okay, give them a call. We'll go on to that now. So how do you actually go about reaching out to good prospects? Okay, so the quickest way is giving them a call, phone call. A lot of people are scared to pick up the phone. I get it. We live in an age where we're stuck behind our phones, we're stuck behind our computers. It's much easier to send an email, but picking up the phone is so quick. Whether you get a yes or a no, you know where you stand, rather than writing emails or copy and pasting a template and just waiting for that response and potentially never getting it, and then you have to go through the follow-up process. Phone calls are super quick. Next, we have got email, so you can reach out to them via email, but you want to make sure that you're addressing them and being personal. Direct messaging, again, be personal. Direct message them on social media, or you can be old school and go out, visit a business and reach out to them face to face. So a couple ways to stand out. Utilize personal video. I found that works really helpful. So whether it's a front-facing video like this where you're just talking to them and introducing yourself, or whether you're doing a on-screen recording where you're auditing their site or showing them a couple of ideas that you have, whatever it might be, it's just going to help you stand out. Hit them on multiple platforms. So call them, email them, and direct message them. And as a last protocol, you could go in as well. Okay, it shows that you're super eager and keen and you really want to talk to that person. Play to your strengths. All right, so focus on what you're good at. Now, I've said that phone calls is the quickest way, but if I look at myself, for example, I don't have a strong sales-based background. So what? I've still had to pick up the phone and call, but it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable to do so. Now, originally, I just played to my strengths. I did a lot of emailing, I did a lot of DMing, I did a lot of videos because that's what I got a bit more comfortable with. So if it's a toss-up between getting the job done and generating results and doing a good job versus doing a bad job, I'd say do the good job and try and at the same time work on what you're not very good at. So play to your strengths but work on your weaknesses. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, understand where your audience hangs out. A lot of people make the mistake of, for example, trying to reach out to a personal trainer on LinkedIn. Okay, personal trainers don't hang out on LinkedIn. Or trying to reach out to an accountant on Instagram. Okay, they're probably going to be hanging a bit more out on LinkedIn. So just know where your audience is hanging out if you're going to reach out to them. And then consistency is key. There's no point if you're doing any sort of outreach to reach out to your ideal customer and finding the good prospects, the good clients. If you just send one email one day and 2 the next, and maybe 1 the next day, and maybe 4, on a Thursday, and and then when it gets to Friday and you only send one more, okay, there's no consistency there, and plus the volume isn't there. Right, so be consistent, make it sure that it's achievable. I've always said that you can reach out to at least 10 businesses every day. Originally, it might take you a bit of time, but when you get consistent and you do it regularly, you're going to get better and things are going to move a lot faster for you. And so yeah, that's what I recommend for if you're looking to sign up clients, find clients, and reach out to them. Now moving on to signing up clients. So how do you sign up SEO clients? Right, this is super important. You want to understand what their pain points are. Okay, often pain points for a business are things like, I need more money, I need more exposure, people can't see us, we really want to grow, people can't find us on Google, our competitors are cleaning up because they're ranking higher than us. The amount of clients that we've had come to us say, oh, can you outrank this company? And they'll give us their competitor and they're like on the top position. And their main goal is to just outrank them. So if you can understand what those pain points are for your ideal customer, it's really going to help you. Contact the decision maker. So you need to contact the business owner. It's no good reaching out to their SEO exec or their marketing manager, because the chances are they are not going to listen to you because they are in fear of their job being replaced, for example. So you want to go straight to the one that makes the decisions within the business. Never pitch your SEO services either. Okay, never pitch your SEO services in the first call, shall I say. In that first conversation that you have with a customer, whether it is an email, whether it is a phone call, don't pitch the service. I would recommend focusing more on the pain points and then offering that desirable result. Okay, so do you want to rank higher than your competitors? Okay, things like that. They're easy hooks that have worked in the past. The only thing that you're selling on this initial conversation, okay, is a more in-depth conversation. So we use something called a two-step sales strategy. Okay, we have that initial conversation. Or you could call it three-step, because we have that initial conversation where we pick up the phone and we try and book another conversation, and then in that conversation, that second conversation with them, we are going through a process of fault finding. We're asking them questions to learn a bit more about them. We're building rapport between myself or my team and that business, and then in the third call we are then pitching them. So second call is fault finding, understand their problems. Third call is delivering them a potential solution. Okay, it works very, very well. Cold leads. Okay, if you're reaching out to people cold, this might require 2 or more conversations. However, if people are coming to you because they can find you or they've visited your website and they like the look of you and they want your help, then it might be that you can close them in 1 or even 2 conversations. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3 or more. Warmer leads can be closed, as I've just said, in a single conversation. It does happen sometimes. It might need 2 conversations, but because they are a warmer lead because they've come to you, the chances of you closing them in a short time frame is higher. All right, so let me just touch a little bit more on that 2-step call strategy, because if you are a web designer or business owner looking to offer this as a service and you want to learn how to reach out to customers, okay, this is how we do it. Okay, we've got stage 1, the discovery call. Okay, so you break this discovery call down into a intro hook: learn, discover, gather information. Okay, you want to be fault finding. You want to understand what the challenges are of that business, and you want to figure out what their goals and ambitions are. Okay, that's really important, because if you can figure out where they're looking to go and what their desire is and what they're striving for, you can kind of work that in later on and touch on things on a more emotional level. Okay, being able to offer something emotionally is going to allow you to increase the opportunity to sell, because people buy on emotion quite a lot of the time, even in business. The next stage, so the second step, is run the presentation, I should say. So presentation, so we've got discovery, presentation. So in that presentation, you're going to run through the audit. Next, competitor comparison. So the law of comparison is a very powerful thing, because business owners don't want to be outdone by their competition. So if you can show them how their competition are doing something better than them, it might light a fire in their belly to want to compete and beat them. Okay, so that's why that's really important. Providing them with a solution. Okay, so this is providing them with your SEO service and how that can help them get to where they want to be. So this is where you have to be clever, because you need to take what their challenges are, their pain points, their desires, and you need to explain how SEO can help them reach or fix the problems that they're having and reach the goals that they are striving towards. And SEO can very much do that in many ways, because even if it's a case of wanting to grow, have more exposure, need more money, SEO can help achieve all of those things. Next, you give a top level strategy. Now, you don't want to go into too much detail because essentially they could just run and implement it themselves, and although that's not necessarily a problem, okay, you're kind of giving too much away. So you want to kind of be careful that you're not giving too much of the detail away, and also if you're going into that much detail, it's going to be taking you so much time to pull together that in-depth strategy that it's not worth doing that until you actually have landed the client. So you want to kind of just give them a top level overview, and then you talk about the investment. Okay, don't position this as price or cost, because they're kind of negative words. You want to position this as an investment. How much do they need to invest every single month? I almost said how much is it going to cost, and that's not what we want to be doing. And then finally, any objections that come along. You will have objections, you will have questions, you will have people saying that they want to go away and think about it. Okay, you just need to bat those away. If they need to think about it, you need to ask them, what do they need to think about that you can't answer right now in this call. So yeah, that's the 2-step sales call strategy that we use to help land SEO clients. Once you've landed a client, you need to onboard them. Okay, so if you are an agency or a web designer looking to offer SEO, this is going to be very relevant for you. If you are just looking to learn how to do SEO, there's probably too much information for you in this video, but what I might do is actually produce another video specifically on the next part of this training, which is how to get SEO results. Cool, onboarding SEO clients. Now there's 2 main things that you need to sort within onboarding, which is why onboarding is important, and that's getting your service agreement in place and getting your invoice paid. All right, you don't start a project unless you're paid. So having these 2 things is the most important thing. But also, what the other things that you need to do within your onboarding is gaining access to specific things. So gaining access to their website, gaining access to their Google Analytics account, gaining access to their Google Search Console, their Google Tag Manager, and their GMB Google My Business account. Then you might want to also give them access to a reporting tool, or if you have a client dashboard, you would give them access to that too. Now, the onboarding can vary business to business depending on what your processes are. All right, but that is here on screen an overview of what information and access that you do need at a bare minimum. If they don't have any of the accounts that you need access to, then just ask them to set them up, or you can set them up for them and just give them access. But what you might want to do is just create a series of guides. This can be videos, or this can be written guides to how they can go about setting these accounts up and how they can then give you access. You just want to make it effortless for them. You don't make it so difficult that already the first experience that they have with you is tripping over and finding roadblocks with this onboarding process. You want to make it so stupidly simple. Give them that great user experience that they just so really want with working with you. Cool. Now, maybe the bit that most of you have been waiting for, and that is how you're going to get results. So you're going to learn a lot here. Okay. Honestly, I just want to give you so much value in this training. And if you found it valuable so far, please do give it a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate it. So yeah, how do you go about getting results? Well, SEO these days is kind of split up into what I'd like to say four things when it comes to getting results. And we've already spoken about the acronym EAT. Now, EAT stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Okay, and you can see that over on the right hand side. We've got a little image from SEMrush. How do we achieve these things? Well, we achieve EEAT or EAT through these 4 things, and that is the research phase of SEO, on-page optimization phase, the content phase, and the off-page phase. And they're kind of like in 4 separate buckets, you could call them. So four separate stages to SEO. So let's just run through those just to give you an idea of what those stages are, what they look like, and what's included within those stages or buckets, however you want to call them. So first of all, research. So research compiles of website audits, your keyword research, your website structure, and competitor research. Okay, so looking at your competitors. Next, we've got on page. So that's things like looking at your URL structure, looking at your page titles, looking at your meta descriptions, looking at load speeds. Okay, that just gives you an idea of what's included in there. Then we've got content. Now, you could argue that content is also on page because it's taken care of on the website, but I've separated this out into a separate bucket because content is a huge part of SEO these days. So content includes headings, page content, blog articles, and images / videos or media. And then finally, we've got off page. So that is things like backlinks, citations for local SEO, and also reviews. So what people are saying about you. Cool, so we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start with research. All right, so talking more about audits. So when you're looking at a potential website that you want to improve, so whether you're actually looking at your own website to improve that, or whether you are looking at a potential client website because you're offering this as a service, ask these questions. So ironically, I've said there are 3 questions, but while creating the content underneath, you can see that I've put more questions in. So it's actually 5. Ask these 5 questions. So does this website load fast? Okay, have a look at the site speed. Right, and if it doesn't load fast, you want to ask them, well, do they have caching? Are their images compressed? Do they have minified CSS, HTML, and scripts or JavaScripts? Okay, they are often the 3 main things that you want to look at to improve the website speed. Do pages have obvious keywords in the site title, the H1, and the content? Is the website mobile friendly? Right, you can check this by using a tool called Google Mobile Insights. Really good tool, because if you put your website into that and it's not performing very well, like Google, it's a Google tool, so it's going to be a good thing for you to look at to understand whether that's the reason why the website is performing badly. If the site speed is slow, remember, mobile speed is really important because Google is now mobile first, so they're looking at mobile before they're looking at desktop. Are there any urgent site errors being flagged? All right, and you can identify these by running an audit report in the likes of SEMrush, Ahrefs, or even Ubersuggest. So there are SEO tools that I have experience with and I recommend. You don't need all of them. One of them is absolutely fine, and we'll go into tools more in a bit more detail later. And then just see how all of those above things, see how it compares to a competitor. Okay, are the competitors doing? Are the websites loading fast? Do they have better and obvious keywords? Is the website mobile friendly? Is there more content on the page? Do they have an active blog? Okay, there's loads of things that you can look at, but these are 5 questions that you want to be answering at the very least. Next, that moves us on to keyword research. All right, so if you don't know what keywords are the words or the phrases used when searching for something in Google. Okay, so this could be what's called short tail, or it could be long tail. So 1 or 2 words, or almost like a whole sentence or question. So that's long tail, and then we've got short tail. So an example here is SEO Company London or coffee shops near me. They are examples of keywords or search terms. During this keyword research phase, you can start to actually see what people are actually searching for to find the given product or service in question. So this might be your client's product or service, or it might be your product or service. And you can find keywords by multiple ways. We've got brainstorming, okay, just pulling ideas out of your brain based on how well you know your own business, or what you perceive or believe people would be searching for your own business, or even your customers' clients' business. So you can do brainstorming. You can use Google Intuitive Search. You can look at competitors to see what keywords they're ranking for. And you can also use keyword tools like SEMrush to give you keyword ideas based on a single keyword. Now you'll determine a final list of keywords that you're going to rank for based on the keywords search volume and ranking difficulty. You need to make sure that the volume is there. Ideally, you want high volume, low difficulty, because that's going to give you the best opportunity. But it's never that easy. Sometimes you have to find a balance and go after the ones that make sense for your business where you're at right now. And we'll touch more on this shortly. So let's talk about finding keywords. So how can you? I touched on this already just in the last slide, but to go into more detail, brainstorming, again, picking ideas out of your head. using Google intuitive search. You can see on the image on the right hand side that if you start typing words into Google, it's going to give you an idea of what is being searched that relates to what it is that you're searching. Okay, so it's intuitively suggesting what you might be looking for, so that can give you some additional keyword ideas. Look at competitor keywords, so run it through a tool like SEMrush, run their website through an audit. It will tell you what they're ranking for. Look at those keywords. Use a keyword tool to find variations and alternatives. Check the keyword difficulty and the search volume of each. Okay, that's really important. And you want to define a final list of keywords that you want to go after because they have high volume and they have a good enough difficulty, low enough difficulty for you to successfully achieve a high rank for them. And then once you've got that definitive list, you want to then take that list and assign one keyword to one page on your website. You want one keyword, one page, and you want to put them together. So keyword research, you want to be checking the keyword difficulty of each. So this just gives you an idea of what that might look like. So we've got the keyword SEO Company London. It tells you how difficult it is, 25 out of 100. That's considered medium difficulty. So depending on, if you are just starting out, you might want to look for a lower difficulty, but looking at the volume of this 1.7k inquiries each month, I would say that is enough for me to say, right, we're going to go after this keyword. It might take a little bit longer, but once we get there, that is a pretty decent return in search volume. That's a potential 1,700 people clicking on our website if we manage to get up on the top spot. So you kind of have to consider those things with every single keyword. All right, so next we've got on page. So what happens on page? So keyword assignment. Now I've just touched on this ever so slightly, but we're going to talk about it in a bit more detail and what that looks like. So you do want to be matching one keyword to one single page, as I've already said. You don't want to be making the mistake and trying to assign 2 to 5 or even more keywords to a single page. Otherwise Google will get confused. It won't have a clue what that page is on about, right? So a couple ways that you can assign keywords depending on the keyword type and the intent, for example. So if we had a keyword digital marketing agency London, you might want to rank that to your homepage because it's kind of digital marketing is a broader term for a collection of services. So the likes of paid ads, SEO, marketing as a whole, you could have that ranked to your homepage. Next, we've got SEO Company London. Okay, SEO is a service within digital marketing, so you might want to rank that to a service specific page, otherwise known as a money page, because these pages are typically designed to convert a customer and sell. If you're sending people directly to that page, the reason why we do this is because if they are looking for a SEO company, their intent to buy is higher than those that are just trying to research what SEO is. Okay, a lot of, for example, companies or business owners don't know what SEO is. They know that ranking on Google is a thing, but they don't know how to get there, and they don't understand that actually there's a whole service behind getting a website to rank higher on Google. And so they might be in their research phase, but if they are searching specifically for an SEO company in London, for example, then their intent is going to be a bit higher, which is why we create service-based money pages. And then finally, if we had a question-based term like how to rank coffee shops in London on Google, okay, because that is question-based, you could have that as a blog article, right? So that's kind of how you could look at assigning keywords. Other examples could be homepage. If you're looking for an electrician in Exeter, you can rank that to the homepage. If you're looking for domestic rewire electrician, so like a specialist domestic home rewire electrician, then you might send that to a service page. Or if you had a question like how to change a plug socket in the UK, or how to change a plug socket faceplate, you might have that as a blog article. Okay, so you can start to appreciate keyword assignment. The way that your keywords are included on a website are in this grey box on the right hand side. So when you have your keyword, you have one keyword per your page, okay, and on that page you need your keyword to appear in the page title, you need that keyword to appear in the page URL, the main heading, and that main heading needs to be a H1 tag, so HTML, H1, it's your top level heading, and you only have one. You need it to appear within the content, you need it to appear within the image alt tag, and you need it to appear within at least one internal link, I would say. So yeah, that's keyword assignment. Now moving on to website structure. So you want to make sure that your website pages have structure and hierarchy. You want to make sure that the content in itself is structured, but you also want to make sure that your website, okay, is structured from a page perspective. Okay, so if you have a WordPress site, for example, I specialize in WordPress, so I know this for sure, but I'm sure other platforms like Wix or Webflow do it as well. You can have like sort of parent pages and child pages and start nesting and creating hierarchy with your content. So for example, you might have a page called website audits, and that is a service that belongs with the SEO. Now you might have a page for SEO, and then underneath your page for SEO, you might have a page for website audits. But you need it to sit underneath, because then your URL is going to create this structure where you have your domain name, you would then have SEO, and then you would have website audits. Or if we were talking about electricians again, you would have electrical services, and then maybe under electrical services, you would have a page called House Rewire Exeter. Right, so making sure that your website as a whole, as your sitemap, website sitemap has structure. Okay, but you want to make sure that your website content has structure too. So making sure that the web pages have structure and hierarchy. Use just descriptive text on buttons. Okay, so for example, see our SEO services and not learn more. Learn more is such a rubbish way of trying to get people to click through. You want to be really descriptive as to what people are clicking through to. And this also helps the bots understand what this button does and where it goes, and what the content is on the other side of this button. You want to use correct content hierarchy as well. So I've already spoken about this. H1 through to H6, you want to make sure that that exists, similar to a book. You want to make sure that your pages are clear, and your pages have a clear and linkable website navigation within the header and within the footer. Okay, so that's website structure. Now touching a little bit more on page URLs, so the slug, otherwise known as, you want to include your target keyword within your page URL. So for example, SEO website audits, you can see that that exists within the SEO. But if your keyword is maybe house rewires in Exeter, then that is included in the page URL. So you can see how that would look there. Quite complicated if you're not familiar with websites, but hopefully this is making sense, guys. Let me know in the comments if it's not, and I'll try to do a better job of explaining. You want to use hyphens to separate words. So you don't want to be doing something like this where it says electrical services and then house rewire with no separation. It's difficult to read. You want to make sure that it's all lowercase and no capitals. And at the bottom, it just gives you an example of what your page URL or slug looks like, certainly from a SEO, from a Google standpoint. Okay, next we've got page titles. So within your page title, this is your SEO title. Okay, you want to make sure that you're including your keyword within there. Title is approximately 50 to 70 characters, so it's quite short. Remember to make it intriguing, okay, because you're writing for humans to click on it, but you're also writing for SEO. So as long as you have your keyword included and you make it flow and read properly, then that should be enough. And there's an example of what a SEO title looks like. Note, Google sometimes rewrites them, so just be mindful of that. If you see that you've put your site title as something and it looks completely different in Google, don't panic, they rewrite them. Cool. Meta description, so final kind of on page part until we move on to content. So this is the meta description. So you want to use keywords within the meta description, approximately 50 to 160 characters long. Again, make it intriguing because you're writing for humans to click on it. Okay, the meta description has a much lower weighting these days than it used to have. It used to kind of really consider it as a ranking factor when trying to rank websites. It doesn't anymore, but it does highlight in bold your keyword, so it's a way of capturing people's attention when they're reading. So it will highlight that keyword in bold if it exists within the meta description, so make sure that it's included in there. But remember that you're writing for the click, okay, to increase click-through rates. All right, so moving on to content. Okay, so this is going to be a bulky part of your SEO campaign because it's all about the words and the text and the content on your website. Remember, we've spoken about EAT and how you are trustworthy and authoritative and have experience, and you want to make sure that all of those things are put across within your content. So let's go through content. We've got headings. Your headings they're essentially what allows Google to understand what your website is about. You want to make sure that you're using the correct heading structure. I've spoken about this already. H1 to H6, similar to a book. Okay, create flow and hierarchy with your words and your titles. Okay, if it's easier for, like books are easier for humans to read, a well-structured page of content with the correct heading structure is much easier for Google to read and understand what the website and the page and the content is all about. You want to make sure that you're only using one H1 tag, okay, in a single page. I've seen people make this mistake. They put all of their headings as H1s because they like the way it looks, okay? But actually from an SEO standpoint, that's not the right thing to do, because Google's going to look for one H1 heading only. It looks at this to determine what the whole page is about. Okay, so that H1 heading includes your keyword, and it kind of encompasses what this whole rest of the words on the page is all about. So use your focus keyword in that H1. Use variations, synonyms of your main keywords within the heading 2 down to heading 6, okay? Because you can have multiple of these, you just can't have multiple of your H1. Write for humans, and remember, eat as well. Next, we've got page content. So the content is the most important asset with any SEO campaign, and it's made up of all your words, images, and videos on your page. The website content should relate to your keyword. Now, it should relate to your H1. Your keyword is in your H1, so all of the below content will relate to it. Good content will accurately answer the user search query. Okay, so just making sure that you're answering common questions, making sure that you are giving people what you believe that they want and what they would be looking for if they were searching for you. So make sure that you're doing that. Just make sure the page content relates to your H1 header. I've already said that on the second point down. So just to reiterate that, include the keyword within the first 150 words of your body text. So important to do that. Aim for a minimum of 1,000 words. I used to say 500 words was enough, but I honestly don't believe that that's the case anymore. Everyone's competing to beat each other in terms of word count, so at least 1,000 words is going to help you have like the density of content that you need in order to Google to crawl it and understand all of the ranking factors that it needs, especially with EAT. You know, do you have the experience, the expertise, the authoritativeness, the trustworthiness? Okay, you're going to do a much better job of achieving that if you have more words on the page. Okay, it's very difficult to do so when there's only a few paragraphs of content on that page, so at least 1,000 words. Write good quality, unique, engaging, factually correct content that also has an end goal in mind. Often the end goal, you want to educate, you want to position yourself as an authority, but you more importantly want people to, believe that you are the right option when they are looking to find a provider for what it is that you are offering. So you want them to get in touch with you or make a purchase. Just to give you another summary of EAT, okay, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So experience, how much does the creator have first-hand experience in the area being covered? Expertise, how much does the creator have expertise, skill, or knowledge of the subject? Authoritativeness, what are the reputations of the author and the website like? Okay, are they reputable? And trustworthiness, okay, how accurate, honest, and safe and reliable is this page? Okay, so the more that you can achieve these 4 things within your content, the better your website is going to perform. So take this into consideration. Okay, and this diagram is credit to Fat Joe for putting this together. I've just stolen it. There's no point in me creating my own. Okay, moving on to images. More importantly, optimizing images. So you're going to have images on your site. You absolutely need to have images on your site, but in an attempt to make sure that it doesn't bloat the site, because images, if not uploaded correctly, can massively bloat your site and cause it to load slow, and then you're going to be penalized by Google anyway. So you want to make sure that these images are optimized. So you want to keep your file size low to help improve the overall website speed. You want to compress images using a compression tool. You can use WordPress plugins if you're using WordPress. If you're not, any other provider might have their own compression tools included. But as a last resort, you can use something like TinyPNG to upload all of your images to and re-export them at a much lower file size and then upload them to your website. You want to use a readable file name which includes your page keyword. So use a readable file name with your page keyword included in it. That's what I'm trying to say there. So for example, if you've got an image around new home electrical installs, you want to use that keyword. You don't want to be using like image 123 or whatever random set of characters your image is either named as by default or that you've decided to name it as. So make sure that you are including your keyword within your image name. All right? It sounds silly, but all of these little things really do make a difference. And then you want to add a descriptive alt tag that tries to include a keyword, but you more importantly want to describe what the content or the image, shall I say, is about. So alt tags are for screen readers that can't read pictures, they read words, so it will read your alt tag to explain what the image is about. So be descriptive, try and include your keyword where you can, okay, because that's going to help. Remember, the bot crawls the site it cannot figure out what visually is included in your image. So it's going to look at the alt text to understand what that image is. And if you have a keyword in there, it's another opportunity for it to join the dots and work out that your website should be ranking high for this keyword. Now we move on to blogs. Now blogs, for me, have become a much more important topic. I never used to blog really, never used to include blogs on our websites, and we never used to offer blogs within our customers' SEO because naively I thought they were irrelevant, but actually they have a much higher role to play in SEO these days. All right, they are great for ranking long tail keywords and question-based keywords. Okay, they're fantastic for that. So if within your keyword list you have a bunch of long tail question-based keywords, you're going to need a blog content strategy that allows you to assign those types of keywords to content in order for them to rank. Okay, you also then have another never-ending opportunity to rank your website for keywords outside of the service pages. Okay, the service-based / money pages that are designed to talk about your service and get people to get in touch with you, you want those to rank, but there's a limitation on how many you can really rank because you only have so many pages or so many services within your business that you offer. So blogs are a great way to kind of have this never-ending opportunity to rank for additional keywords. Now, blogs now play a very important role in boosting authority and trust. Okay, two things that are needed within our EAT. What's the word? Acronym. That's the word I'm looking for. That word just escaped me. So the EAT acronym, authority and trust, are two things that Google looks for. So blogs allow you to achieve those two things. It prevents your website from stagnating. So if you haven't updated your content in a long time, Google will start to look at it and be like, okay, this maybe isn't up to date, so we're not going to rank it higher. Helps to have content from multiple authors. Okay, having expert opinions from their point of view is going to be super important. So if you can have other people write your content for you and credit them and author them on your site, it's going to help the EAT acronym as well. Finally, AI. Use AI for content ideas. So generating content ideas, maybe even asking for an outline of a specific blog based on the title that you have. And then you can even ask it to write the content for you, but I'd certainly use that as a base or boilerplate. Make sure anything that you're getting SEO to write, that you do change it, you do humanize it, you put your point of view on it, and make sure that it's factually correct, because sometimes AI, certainly ChatGPT, doesn't have all the answers. Okay, it's very clever, but it's questionable sometimes where it gets its information from, because it gets it from the internet, but sometimes it kind of just makes things up, and you want to make sure that it's not doing that. Over time, with a blog, you will build what's called topical authority, and it will then help you position yourself as an authority within your space. So a blog is very, very important. Now, moving on to the last stage of how to rank your website, we're moving on to off-page. Okay, final part to getting results. First of all, we're talking about backlinks. Now, backlinks is the topic that I think a lot of people get stuck at. Backlink is when another website mentions your business, it mentions your business's website, and then it links directly to your website. Okay, so they're kind of providing a link back to your site from their site. Backlinks count for most of your SEO efforts. All right, it will make up 80% of an SEO campaign because they are challenging to get. Okay, certainly the more credible ones. Now, we'll touch on how to acquire backlinks shortly. But they are challenging to acquire. If you have strong content, if you're a strong authority, and so you have great content, you'll naturally generate backlinks. Okay, it will naturally happen, and it doesn't matter what SEO campaign you're running. If you have great content, you will naturally generate backlinks. And there's a lot of websites out there that naturally rank well anyway because they're just doing everything right, and they might not even realize that they're doing it. Okay, so there is the opportunity for that. Not all links are equal. It's really important to understand that, okay? So links from more credible websites are going to have a much higher influence over links from much smaller websites, okay? And we look at this based on their domain authority. Next, link success is measured based on the backlink source, okay? The domain authority, as I've just said. So we'll touch on domain authority shortly. All right, so what to look for when you're trying to acquire backlinks. There are a few things that you need to check, all right? First of all, the domain rating or domain authority. Okay, what is that? It's a result out of 100. The closer to 100 it is, the much more authoritative it is. I'd say the average is probably around 30 of a domain authority. That's kind of a good average. So anything above 20 is pretty good. Anything below that, it's not impossible for you to rank, but you're certainly going to have to start looking at lower difficulty keywords. So the higher domain authority you have, the more chance you have of going after higher volume, higher difficulty keywords. Remember the keyword research phase when we're looking at the difficulty and the volume. If you have high domain authority on your website already, you're going to find it much easier to rank for those websites because Google, for those keywords, should I say, because Google considers you authoritativeness and authority, and it's going to rank you higher. You want to be looking at how much traffic that website gets that they're linking from. You want to look at referring domains. So this is the citation flow and link quantity, and you can see down in the diagram, something like Ahrefs, which this has been taken from, and this is the backlink for our website. It gives you that information, so the domain rating, how much traffic that they're getting, their referring domains, and their URL rating, so trust flow. And yeah, you want to just look at all of these things, and the higher these values are, the better. All right, so there's a lot of things that you need to consider there. Often just making sure that their domain authority is high and their traffic is decent is enough to go on. But if you want to kind of scrutinize it in a bit more detail, you can do so by looking at those additional things too. So how do you go about finding backlinks? I mean, this is where a lot of people struggle. All right, so the best way is just to generate great content, and it will come naturally. All right, but I appreciate that is sometimes not easy. So how do you go about creating your own opportunity to create backlinks? So finding a link building opportunity. So you can look at blog websites, you can look at news websites, you can look at directory websites. Okay, blog websites that want people to write for them, great opportunity to create a backlink there. Just write an article, host it, ask for a link back. News websites, so kind of like PR side of things, there's a lot of opportunity there. You can pay for this stuff. It's relatively expensive. If you have a great story to tell and someone wants to share it, there's an opportunity for you to create a link back to your website there. And you've got directory websites. You want to reach out to them, provide this valuable content that they are seeking, and ask for them to link back. Okay, it's that easy, but it is a manual process. All right, this is why it takes up 80% of SEO efforts. To get a high authority and credible website, which gets a lot of traffic, okay, if you can achieve that or achieve multiples of those, your SEO is going to fly. Moving on to the late stages of this training, okay, you now know what you need to do in order to get results. There's a lot of steps there, okay, which is why it's been broken down, and feel free to go back and watch this video over and over again. Certain parts that maybe you need more help with, go and check that out too. But now I want to touch on understanding results, okay, because one thing is understanding how to get results, but actually how do you understand the results that you're looking for and the results that you've gotten, should I say. So I want to talk first of all about predicting results. How do you go about predicting results? Because if you're having a conversation maybe with yourself and you understand how long things are going to take, or if you have a conversation with a potential customer and they ask, well, how long is it going to take me to rank? Okay, it's a very difficult question to answer sometimes, but there are things that you can look at to kind of help you better gauge how long things might take. SEO is not an exact science, and unfortunately results, they're not guaranteed. Okay, you could put in 12 months of pretty decent work in an SEO campaign, but all of your competitors are doing the same thing, so you might not budge up. Okay, it's not a guaranteed result. You can predict how difficult a campaign is going to be based on the difficulty of the keyword. So in the keyword research stage, we looked at keyword difficulty. If it's high difficulty, chances are it's going to be more difficult for you to rank for and going to take you much longer time because you need to increase your domain authority. You can also look at whether your website is brand new, whether it has low domain authority. If it is new and has low domain authority, it's going to take months to build that up. Even if it's not new and has low domain authority, you still need to build up your domain authority. You can use a keyword difficulty tool from Ahrefs, for example, to check how many backlinks that you'll need. And the top screenshot here, which is the keyword difficulty tool from Ahrefs, it gives you an idea. Web design expert as a keyword, it's considering it hard because it's kind of in that 40 range. And it tells you how many backlinks that it estimates that you'll need in order to rank in the top 10, okay, page 1, not even the top position or top 3, how many backlinks that you'll need to rank in the top 10 for that keyword. So it kind of gives you an idea. Now, underneath that, you can see that we've got a breakdown of keyword difficulty versus volume. All right, and as I've mentioned before, you kind of want to find the ones that are high volume, low difficulty. They're going to give you the best bang for your buck. And you still need to go through the audit process as well to check website health. All right, you need to check your own health on your website. You need to check your client's health. If they have an unhealthy website, there'll be a bunch of things that needs to be fixed before you start seeing results. Managing expectations. This is a huge thing. Okay, this is where most of the problems lie with SEO. This is where SEO has got a bad reputation. It comes down to SEO professionals, right, not setting expectations properly to their customers. All right, and that way then customers are thinking that maybe it's a quick solution, and it's not. Okay, the amount of conversations I've had from people that we signed up and even not signed up is that they believe that SEO doesn't work, or their current agency is not doing anything. They haven't generated any results in 6, 12, 18 months. So SEO can feel like smoke and mirrors, but it does work. It's essential. Businesses need it because they need to rank high on Google and beat their competition. That's where everybody's going. There's over 8 billion searches, as we've already mentioned in the beginning stages of this training. Okay, so they can't afford to not implement SEO as a strategy within their digital marketing. It can take 6 to 12 months, okay, at least. And this depends on a bunch of factors which we've covered, okay? So you have to set expectations with yourself, and you have to set expectations with your customers, okay, using the predictions that we spoke about in the last slide. The more campaigns that you run, the better you'll be at predicting results and timeframes. Okay, so there's a couple ways to look at this. If you are working with a variety of different niches or industries, okay, it's going to take you a bit longer to kind of gauge that. But even the more campaigns that you do within a variety of fields, you'll probably start to see trends and consistencies to help you better predict how long things are going to take. But if you're niche specific, you'll probably get a quicker idea of how long things are going to take, so you can manage expectations there. So there are a few variables here that can change the speed of your results, and that is industry competitiveness, search volume and opportunity, which we've spoken about, and age of domain. Okay, there's 3 main things that could affect you being able to get the top spot. Industry competitiveness is huge. It really does depend on the industry. Right, if it is super competitive, it's going to take you longer to rank higher. Once the results are there though, they tend to stick around. All right, now I've spoken about this already, about the analogy of going to the gym. SEO is awesome. Once you are ranking high, you tend to stick around, and it's a ongoing, consistent way to generate traffic to your website. Now, another thing I want to cover before we finish up is I want to just introduce AI into SEO, and we briefly touched on this on another slide, but AI is still very new, and so for that reason it shouldn't be solely relied upon within your SEO strategy, within your workflow, because we don't know what it's going to do in the future. I'd hate to think that loads of SEO companies or even business owners are utilizing AI fully to produce content for their sites. They might rank now, but what if they get penalized in the future? So the best thing that you can do to utilize AI is to just use it to increase your output speed. So things like keyword research and ideas, it's great for that. Getting it to write your SEO meta titles and descriptions to increase click-through rate, that's great for that, but make sure that you tweak it to humanize it and make it unique. Content headings and ideas, or content heading ideas, shall I say. So ideas for the inner content headings, blog outlines, and also first draft content and blogs. Okay, I touched on that in the last couple of slides ago. Using AI to produce a page of content for you is great, but make sure that you change it. Okay, you need to put your stamp on it. It's really, really important. Otherwise, a bunch of websites are just going to be full of AI, robot written copy. Robot written copy tends to lack sort of like a brand presence, because it doesn't know your brand. It tends to lack like a decent tone of voice, and it's just a bit flat. Okay, so make sure that you're not being lazy. Okay, by all means use AI to increase your workflow, but make sure that you're still doing your job as an SEO optimist. So what tools do you need? Let's touch on tools. So there are a few tools here. Top 3 ones, Ahrefs, SEMrush and Ubersuggest. They all pretty much do the same thing. I used to use Ubersuggest. I now use Ahrefs religiously. I think it's great. SEMrush, again, very, very good. Feel free to try any of them out. You're going to need Google Analytics. It's free. Google Search Console is free. Fat Joe is a great tool for generating like the likes of local citations. It's a very boring, monotonous manual task. So being able to pay like $100 or £100 to Fat Joe to do it for you is pretty good. Moz Local, another tool that you might want to look at. Keywords Everywhere is really cool because it allows you to put in a search query and it will tell you like what the volume is and what the cost per click is if you were to run Google Ads to it. So the reason why that's good is because if you have an industry that is really expensive cost per click, you can utilize SEO to kind of get them ranking high organically to bring down the cost of their cost per click. So there's another reason why a business might want to optimize their website. And then finally, we've got Loom. Loom is great for if you are doing video outreach. You can record yourself, you can record your screen. If you are reporting on results, you can record your screen and show them what has happened and what results they've achieved. We use video reporting within our agency and our customers really like it. So yeah, you don't need all of these, but I recommend going to have a look and seeing which one you like, which ones work best for you. Final part, okay, if you've enjoyed this, okay, you can claim, I've put together a free SEO mini course, okay, and this kind of just focuses a little bit more on the keyword side of things, not so much the implementation, but if you are looking to, dip your toe into SEO, this mini course could be good for you. So there'll be a link down in the description for you to go and claim that. But if you want to kind of take that step further and you want to continue learning about SEO, about the business side of SEO, about the business side of running a SEO company or even a web design company that offers SEO. Okay, I've done these things myself and we are currently, we're reaching every year, we're above 6 figures, so we're making good stable income. I've got so much time freedom. That's kind of one of the benefits to having this as a business, and this business model is we have the freedom to work anywhere at any time, okay, which is why I love it. Time, it's the resource you can't get back. All right, so if you are looking to fast track your process and your progress, okay, I welcome you to go and check out the Agency Alchemist program, and there'll be a link down to that below as well. All right, so if you made it this far, thank you. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you found it valuable. There's a lot of information in there. I've tried to make this really, really valuable for you. So if you have enjoyed it, please do let me know in the comments. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. Now, I did say at the start of this video there would be a giveaway. All right, let's talk about that. So I'm giving you the chance to get free enrollment, so free access to the Agency Alchemist program, okay? Free access to myself, mentorship, one-to-one mentorship, which typically you'd spend well over £1,000 to get all of these things. So I'm giving this away to one person for free who is looking to start their SEO business. All I need you to do is comment below what your goals for 2024 is, okay, and a name will be chosen at random. So let me know down in the comments what your goals are for 2024 and we'll pick someone out and I'll reach out to you, and yeah, we can have that conversation and see how I can help you and support you with growing your agency or your business. Or even if you're not looking to start an SEO business but you're looking to improve your SEO, still do the same thing, and maybe there is something that we could do where maybe you don't get access to the course but I can provide services to you for free. Okay, I want to make it attractive. All right, so make sure you do that to be in for a chance of winning. There's an end screen coming up now with more valuable content, and yeah, happy 2024, and see you in the next video. Bye.